obviously is now, yeah. It's going to be my guess, to be fair.
How
could you ignore those cherry blossoms?
To be honest, my answer to you was just going to be, it's an assault map.
Well, you're not
which
wrong.
Everyone knows already.
Because technically, you're not wrong.
Can't be wrong on this one. British Hurricane going to be on defense first, I believe, while we have Org being the away. That's actually, I don't know if the audience knows this. Green is the home colours. White is technically the away. But because all the games are played online, I think it's like higher seed or it's a coin flip or something. You have equal turns being home and away. Sometimes you're green, sometimes you're white.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, thanks.
That's good. You know, technically, there's a home and away. I thought people should know that.
Yeah, thanks. I learned something today. Let's see what they choose to roll out with, though, on these points. So we have Org looking already towards the monkey goats we spoke about a lot already. Hurricane, they're rolling out with the more conventional sort of setup that you see coming on Numbani, at least someone in this meta. Sombra Doomfist with the dive tanks. Big change you're looking at is the Ana and the Zen together, thanks to the huge sightlines that you get by sitting in the far back right corner of this map. Thing is, though, divers are going to look straight for these two supports and try and shut them down very early.
Moving around to the side, we have Org. Obviously, we're taking that tank-heavy composition. So we spoke about this yesterday. With Giganti having to take that pathway where to go around up here and expose themselves as little as possible. So British Hurricane can't use their damage, can't use their sources to move them around. The Zergi going to move back out on the point. He's hacked up, but he's not got a protected barrier to be able to heal his team or keep them alive. But they've got 6 bodies on the point, and British Hurricane are struggling to find any entrance onto it. They might have just conceded it already until Numlord goes in. Looks like solo until Hafiko comes from the side, but they find Kara and Kanga. So with 2 of the supports down, British Hurricane should be able to flip this fight. But was it worth giving up 2/3 of the pie? They might give up the entire thing as Krems goes on a mad killing spree, as well as Mikey A to follow up onto Kib. A very weak start for British Hurricane.
Very solid start coming out of We Have Org as well. As you said, they've subbed Zergi in. He's been known as a bit of a huge Doomfist player, so I'm not too surprised. Chances are when we switch around and they go on the defense, he will be playing on that Doomfist. It does mean that Mikey A can flex those flexy muscles and show himself on that Brigitte after it was Spocktest who was playing it on Numbani just before the half. Now the 6.5 minutes though for We Have Org to work with to try and close it onto the second point. And Hurricane going to switch over. Immediately out comes the boost.
That nano boost was more of a
booped away.
That nano boost was to keep Numlock alive, I believe, rather than use it offensively. And then he goes straight up and gets booped away. Like you said, there's Kara keeping him away from the team. Still find Chubbs with the help of Hafiko. Oh no, now they get the stall out Krems. Hopefully they can get the body block in place, getting there just to knock him back, and they're not going to let him out. This is cyberbullying British Hurricane. It's the oldest trick in the book. They're just going to keep him there, use defense matrix, use bubbles. They've let him go through. Just going to keep zapping him until he goes off the edge.
And he got so close to almost getting his ult back up as well. I think he was on 82% when he died. That's very cruel. That's a very long stall as well, because it's quite a long spawn walk too. So we've gone down there from probably about 30-40 seconds being burnt just by stalling him out. But look at the ult lineup on the side of We Have Org. They've got almost everything to play with. On the other side, though, there is that Transcendence. And Kib is definitely going to slow things down by pricking off Kanga.
Well, look, Nesh is already at 80% on his Soldier ultimate as well, so he's going to be able to pop that Tactical Visor soon. Looks like a substitution coming in. Kara going to ferry Kanga back from the spawn room. Like I said, Dez got ults on the board. Nearly got Kara's 6th ultimate to fill that entire buffet. As Nesh is only 10% away from Attack Visor. This could be lethal against We Have Org if they don't play this correctly.
It's funny because a couple of seasons ago, it's the attacking side that used to run the Soldier.
Kanga again!
This time, though, it's actually with a headshot. Last time was a body shot, I think. Well, catches him out perfectly fine with a headshot.
But it's just more cyberbullying coming out from British Hurricane. It's Kib just going straight for Kanga. Kara then has to go back to spawn to ferry him back. It's burning so much of this impressive time bank We Have Org started point B with.
Already they got themselves chunked out once again, but that's almost a minute and a half being burnt down here by the staggering out of Krems and 2 pickoffs onto Kanga. Hurricane are running this clock down without having to do anything. They've almost got every single ult online, but so do We Have Org. We're approaching that critical mass point that so many teams aim for.
That's what that stall also achieved them. It allowed them to catch up and get their ult economy more realigned with what We Have Org had. Through the floor, they have no chance of expecting that. It's going to force it out early as well as the Transcendence, but they haven't got anything really gained for it other than position, which they were just going to take anyway. Numlock going low, has to jump back up. Kara's going to boop him away. Primal Rage deployed. He's got a lot of airtime going on as he jumps down to immediately get stunned. Graviton Surge keeps him off the point. Transcendence is there to keep everyone topped up, but I don't know if he can heal through his self-destruct. We Have Org jumping onto the point. Mikey A finding Nesh, who dies with that Tactical Visor still up pocket. When he comes back onto the field, will have a nano boost to hopefully turn this back in British Hurricane's favor, but it's not looking good.
They've cleaned everyone else so far. The hope is being ridden entirely on Nesh and Bot, but I feel it's too little too late there. Out comes the boost, out comes the ultimate, but he's getting bopped around like anything. I don't think he's going to get it. No, he's not. We Have Org close out the point in their first proper push, you might say.
They went for a Nano Visor combo for Mikey A to stun Nesh and Rocket Flail him into a corner for a follow-up kill. Could not touch the point. You saw Bucket, as soon as he came out, be Discord orbed. How is he supposed to stay alive if he has an entire team focusing him? It's a very rushed push they were attempting to do.
And it was just outside of one of your favourite things in life as well, Tridd. Seeing that timer go up, it went down by 4 seconds.
Oh.
So close enough back at the starting point as what they had at the start of this round. So great push overall when you think about it, but Hurricane did do well to hold them out for 3 minutes. My number one concern is that they lost in the first push on first point. Yes, they managed to stagger them out on second, but when it came to the one proper fight, even with that Dragon Strike from below and behind that they did not expect, they still couldn't close out the fight because Numlocked was very much so alone, even with that Primal Rage. So maybe now, looking to see what We Have Org can do on their defense. Zergy, as we said, going to go across onto that Doomfist, and Mikey A is going to deploy the Sombra.
Zergy flexes his muscles in his debut game for We Have Org in Contenders. See what he does. So obviously we've seen his tank. Let's see his damage. Nesh and the rest of British Hurricane. Kib opting to go for that Roadhog variant of their Goats composition. Actually, it's not even Goats, Des. It's going back to Quad Tank.
Quad Tank all the way. Remember this from back in Season 1 when teams used to basically rush through the gate, sweep off to the left or right, either go the full roundabout way behind the hut or up and over off to the right-hand side and get yourself on the point. Because if we remember, Tridd, way before Goats, Quad Tank was the go-to thing. And Quad Tank, the best thing it's good at is getting onto a place and saying, we are having this ground, you are not allowed near here. If you get too close, you get grabbed, you die very quickly. That was always the tough thing, but it's kind of weak because you can't move anywhere particularly quickly unless the Lucio speed boost is online.
Mikey's just feeding information. They haven't checked the right spot to get
dive?
him. It might be going dive now,
Full
but
dive.
of course he's going to feed that over to We Have Org so they can adapt accordingly. As Mikey A is going to sneak up behind him. Look where Chubbs is, on top of that dragon.
I like how they're taking some insurance here as well, where they've got Kib on the Genji and Bok playing on the Ana. That's a nano boost Genji Blade for them in the next round if they want to come round to it. Right now that they've got to get their way through, Nesh already is just scouting out behind them, trying to see what's what, where they are. He's found the Doomfist.
Oh, Zergy's going to get himself to safety. Quick tap on the right click to get him to safety as the rest of British Hurricane moves in. Chubbs is by himself. Nesh unable to get anything done on the Sombra just yet, but it's the same thing for Mikey A. He couldn't get a hack off. Kib's on the back line, deflecting it away. Charge through the D-Mech with Zergy. He's going to just punch through the blade, break the steel, and his face. It's still stagnated around the courtyard area. Progress is being made by British Hurricane. They've given up 1/3 already. We have Org. So stronger defense than what we saw from British Hurricane, but not controlled as Nesh eliminates Kara. Numlocked onto Kanga and Zergy in that confined space with 43 HP, trying to charge on, but Yofi, that with the worst timing possible, enters that room.
Not really. I think We Have Org almost playing a bit too far forward for point there as well, because by the time they managed to get back to defend their supports who were being dived by Hurricane, the fight was lost. And don't forget as well, for a lot of European teams, chances are they haven't played against too much full dive in a while. And although this wasn't full dive to the true definition, it wasn't Tracer Genji, it wasn't Zen and Lucio, it still was the case where you had 3 or 4 members jumping onto your support line, and you're against an Ana. Ana can't really protect herself against dives. You will go down very quickly if there are more than 2 members there, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh, Nesh, that's so unfortunate. Went for a little scout, decloaked on the point, and then as soon as he came out the translocator, Zergy was there waiting for him with a fist to kill him. And Numlocked is about to feel that wrath as well. Lots of healing coming out to Zergy, keeps him alive so he can retreat back with the team.
Mouse.
It's very high. You need to be very mobile on Doomfist to make it work.
Spins like a madman.
360 seismic slam. Do it, Zergy. Do it.
Let's go for a 1080 if you wanted to, that kind of sense. But Kanga sat on the nano boost as well. They do have it online if they want to use it. I imagine this goes to Chubbs or Zergy. Let's see.
Well, Zergy's not able to do much. He's not able to play Overwatch because he's been hacked. Chubbs, he can't move anywhere with that nano boost that was gifted to him from Kanga. And now the hack comes out from Mikey A. Zergy's going to turn it around onto Numlocked, who was in hot pursuit the entire time. Hathicall then finally shuts down. But the rest of British Hurricane are dead.
Chase.
Still, a lot of ultimates available for them. But the same can be said about We Have Org. Minimal ult commitment from both teams. 5 minutes 20 on the clock.
We saw this quite a lot yesterday as well, where I think it was Sardis kept on hacking out Cranks every time on the Genji on Horizon Lunar Colony that he got the blade online. He was either hacking him immediately after he got boosted and couldn't pull the blade out, or he hacked him as soon as he activated the blade. It's just that shutdown which can be so huge for them. In that case, it was Chubbs who got shut down when he got boosted, so it was pretty much useless. And this is the problem with playing Ana in this meta, is if the Sombra's around, chances are whoever you've just nano boosted is going to get hacked out very quick. And Zergy doing Zergy things.
How you going to nano boost when you're dead, Bucket? I'm not really sure. Zergy just doing what he needs to do on that hero, just taking out Ana. Happy Calls finds Kara, so they're trading support for support, but I don't know which one's more valuable that these teams are going to have to hold on to. Self-destruct goes up high, Kim shuts down Zergy with a dash to cut him through, and he goes, follows it up with a reset onto Krems after a D-Mech came out from Happy Cool. He's looking for more though, but it's Happy Cool again to get the kill onto Chubbs. Kip, how many times are you going to reset this blade before you actually get something done? Deflecting the shot, final melee, won't let them use and abuse the geometry of the spawn room if they have control of the point.
They do have a couple of things to play. They've got the Primal, but by the looks of it, the EMP came out and stopped it. He's on the point, but he can't really go anywhere anytime fast. He's last to swinging those fists away, but catches no one. He managed to get Mikey A on the Reinhardt, but it feels like it's all a bit of wasted effort here as well, just trying to run that clock down. Still
stalling out Kara, Zergy. They're going to have a nano-boosted Tracer run in, so finally getting to use that ultimate from Kanga. Here comes the Dragon Blade. Won't be committing anything else to him, just wants to cut through. Kara looking for Krems, gets the D-Mech, slices through to finish it off. Kib styling with the Genji, but they still haven't got complete control at this point, Des, because they're funneling out of that spawn room. They're going to get it, and I think they have a time advantage as well.
Almost brought the May out as well. I actually think they were just shy of time. I think it was down by about 3 seconds or something. Oof. Either way, it's incredibly close between the two teams. Essentially identical time banks to go again.
Oh, okay, so pretty much there's only a 11-second difference.
That stall did start out when they had about 20 seconds extra, but the stall managed to burn them down by a good 30 to 40 seconds there as well. Just show that it can waste time, that can win you games, or like we saw yesterday for Giganti, with 1 minute you can still complete a map. So every second you can say counts. It doesn't always.
Doesn't always. 11 seconds being the difference.
Nah.
I was kind of confused about the EMP onto the Primal Rage Winston. It's like, okay, cool, so you've just stopped him from being able to jump around, but he's not exactly going to jump around when he wants to stay on the point to contest, right?
Potentially, but it's also the disruption he causes with the jumps, the knockback it causes. If he knocks a member from here on the main kind of stage down to the lower area, they're at that fight then for a good 5-10 seconds. You want everyone in that fight focusing down every single member who comes out of that gate. And yes, the fist can do that, but a Hat Monkey doesn't go anywhere anytime fast. You can just kind of kite him backwards and burn him down quite quickly. So it's more of a, we know he's the final role member we've had to deal with. He's the final boss, as you might kind of see it as. Hack him out, and we're pretty much good to go from there.
Well, they were good to go about 30 seconds later. British Hurricane going on the offense first. Of course, they have the short time back, so that's going to be the case. Running out with the quad tank yet again. We have Org looking to scout it out. Will they switch to the full dive or just commit to quad tank this time? They checked that spot that Mikey A was in last time, so how did they know to do that?
I think they just had suspicion of where's the rough area being. Don't forget, he played them for the longest time. They know all these spots that he's thinking about.
It's very true.
Spy check him, it's always kind of a small chance you will find
someone. That's exactly what
there.
Chubbs wants to do there. He's hiding up from the Dragons, so he spy check the window, not let anyone through. They're chasing after where they think Mikey A is, but he's still behind him. Numlock going up high. They really do have a sneaking suspicion of where he's going to be, but they're yet to commit to going through this gate. They want to go into the damage. Numlock going to be trading. Zergy, he sees him off in the distance. He wants to go in from downtown with that seismic slam, and Kim's going to try and damage him as much as possible. Goes in close before dropping. He's going to go over the top of the wall and drop back down. D-Mech onto Happy Cool. Going to take him out, so already going to be very slow. Zergy taken out, but of course Mikey A has found Happy Cool, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Spawn advantage in favor of British Hurricane, so as long as they're quick, they can capitalize on the trade.
But it is also a Doomfist. He will get back to point very quickly when he starts rolling out. Let's not forget as well, you basically fly across the map when you're playing on this hero. He'll be on his way back, but I think a lot of this comes down to Kib in that first point as well. He was watching Zergy the whole time, and as soon as Zergy came in, he was like, nope, I'm out of there, and then came straight back in.
Speaking of being out of there, EMP, the translocator combination, we have all going to take out Yofi, Bocket, and Numlock. It's Zergy back from spawn with a vengeance as he wipes out most of British Hurricane.
That's exactly why you want to take him. No one's moving away, no one's got any shields. They can't do anything to stop Doomfist, literally beating them to death. So 2 or 3 kills coming out for Zergy there as well, not too far away from his own ultimate. And that showed really good efficiency from We Have Org as well, because they burnt one ult there. It was the EMP. Everything else is online for them. This could be a really good stall potential they've got here, and if they play it correctly, they might be able to full hold British Hurricane here on their overtime push.
Well, keep getting close to that Dragon Blade. Of course, Bocket close on the Nano Boost as well, so you've essentially what people consider, at least in CompQ, a free win. And of course, they're going to give Chubbs that Nano Boost very early on. He's still got Primal Rage, but he needs to stay alive afterwards. Meteor Strike going somewhere. Where's he going to drop the back bombshell? As Bocket now being singled out by Chubbs, misses the sleep dart. That's bad news bears as the rest of British Hurricane comes back to recover him. Now comes the Primal Rage. Nano Boost committed to someone. I'm not sure who he gave it over to. I believe it was Numlock, who's now popped that Primal Rage in the corner. Transcendence being used. That's open window and opportunity for Kib to use the Dragon Blade, knowing they have no Transcendence to shut him down. And Mikey A probably not going to have that EMP just yet, but he's getting very close. Chubbs taken out. Here comes the Dragon Blade. Misses the dash, but gets the kill. And regardless, deflect Deflects the Bionade back onto the Ana. No healing available for her. Just needs to take out Zergy. British Hurricane going to take over this point. Very close to killing himself there by dashing off the map.
Love how he deflected the nade and healed himself at the same time. just add a bit of sweetness into the mix there as well. I've got to give some credit to Numlocked as well, because there were question marks about him coming in and replacing fusions. His positioning on this Winston, you barely ever see him die in the kill feed, but every single time you look at him on the screen, he's in the backline, he's on the supports, he's forced out a solo transcendence there just by beating the Ana and the Zenyatta back inside that cage in the corner. Playing incredibly well, and I've got to give him credit for that.
He's playing like he's inting, but he's not inting.
He's playing like you would expect someone to play if they were inting, but yeah, he's not.
Yeah, he's just in the fray all the time. Nesh drops that EMP, gets deleted before he can travel anyway. Use the translocator to go in, not out. It's a bit unfortunate. Numlock caught in the corner. Zergy jumps in there, pops him immediately. 60 seconds remaining. British Hurricane know that the time is not on their side. They're looking to full retreat and stop giving over kills. Yofi won't even get away. Zergy's in hot pursuit. There's that map traversal from Doomfist is impossible to escape.
Very difficult to run from when you've got the dive tanks chasing you down as well. And that's why Monkey Goats is so prominent at the minute, is that it can dive into the backline. It has that mobility, yet still has that the kind of cohesiveness that you expect from the three supports to be able to protect each other, to give instant heals from the Brigitte, the shields from things like the Zarya. British Hurricane are going to try something a bit different here. We have a comp called Super McCree, which is flying around a lot at the minute.
Super McCree.
Super McCree is what it got called earlier on. I like that name. I'm going to stick with it. That's exactly what they're trying to roll out with. Let's see what Nesh can do. Almost gets killed in one.
What he can do is get chunked by a Doomfist. He's going to commit to the fight and then instantly deleted by Zergy. So, not so super. More of, shall we say, a Robin on the scale of superheroes rather than a Superman, but more of a sidekick,
yeah.
Sidekick, yeah. Not really having responsibility. Zergy still getting that high energy, high charge, and getting the shield. But of course, overtime's ticking down. British Hurricane might not even be able to complete this because they've lost too many members already, so the stall game is in full effect. Yofi can't get that touch on. Did trigger the overtime. One person still remains, but now Chubbs is just forcing everyone out. I don't know if they can heal beyond this. They're trying to get past him as he's committing in very one-dimensional directions. Kara on the point with the Transcendence, keeping everyone alive. Here comes a replacement Transcendence, but it's Bucket who's bringing it in for his team. They're so split apart, though. He can't choose where he needs to go. Nesh up on the high ground, gets the Helix Rocket kill. He's going to drop back down onto the point. Finds Zergy. Numlock taking out Mikey A. British Hurricane have a good chance of being able to turn this around. Self-destruct up high. There's no shield for you. Your Winston's not near. Use the terrain. Get to safety. Get on the point. Yofi only barely alive there. Zergy goes in straight into Kib. Will get stunned up and locked up for Nesh to finish off. Krems is on the point with a healing wall and a nano boost from Kanga, but he still burned through him. 6 members. Too much to fight through the damage resistance. Here comes the tactical visor straight onto the targets. Ignore the wrecking ball. Get the squishies. He tried to be knocked off the point, so he has no value for this, but he's going to keep going. British Hurricane turn it around at the last second and stay alive on Hanamura.
Nice stuff as well. Worked out well for them. Super McCree wasn't the answer. Apparently Super Soldier was. Nesh bringing out a lot of damage on that one. But again, some credit over to Kib. Really crucial stun at the end onto Zergy, who could have very quickly gone through and burnt down the Ana, who was near the front line. They managed to do it. They lose all their time back for it. Now we have Hog have got to give it their best go as well. And don't forget, it only took them 2 team fights out of 3, I think, to close out the last time they tried this push. Hurricane have got to butt their ideas up and stop them at that first point if they can.
So if we have Org finish the map, British Hurricane have to make sure they do it with less than a minute remaining. Otherwise, it's just going to be a pure defensive hold on their final chance. So, time bank, a lot of it to burn. It's possible. It's doable. Let's see if they can actually pull it off.
It's going to be tough. I'm curious to see what they choose to roll on the defensive side as well, because, you know, Kip, great DPS player, saw a fantastic performance at the World Cup. Doomfist, probably not one of those heroes that seems super strong in his reservoir.
Give him a get.
Reserve, shall we say? I don't want to say here. His roster.
There you
That's
go.
the word I was after. Whereas Zergy, on the other hand, big props to him. Came in again as one of the Doomfist players of the team, being coined as their Doomfist specialist. I'd say he made a good case for himself on that last round.
Having a very good performance. Kib, Doomfist doesn't seem to be the thing that you will roll out with. You usually expect to see him on the Genji. Get himself on that Brigitte as well. It's really coming to his own with that hero coming to such prominence in the meta. Of course, they're going to be on defense, keeping it nice and simple with that Monkey Goats. We have all going to match him, except Bucket is going to be there, and he's been having a higher accuracy, shall we say, than Kanga. Might get a few assassinations as they come in. Speaking of which, Bucket extremely low, taking down to 1 bar of HP.
And Kanga, they traded right clicks, I think, against each other. Both went down to like 10 HP.
Well, Kanga probably wants to get a little bit of revenge based off of what's happened so far. I think Bucket's got the edge in the head-to-head. we've had this happening so far. Krems moving in, gonna have to move on out afterwards, but it has cleared some space for the rest of his team to move into the courtyard. Zergi's up on the high ground. He's got a great position to fire in those right clicks and protective barriers. Keeps Chubbs alive as he's in the fray. A lot of low HP bars on British Hurricane, but they're being topped up afterwards. Kanga gets a D-Mech. This is a window of opportunity for We Have Org to really push their advantage. They push them outside of the courtyard altogether. Not many kills coming in, but the damage and the pressure being output is enough. Sound barrier lets British Hurricane emerge back onto the point. That's a huge Graviton Surge, answered by a Transcendence from British Hurricane to keep him alive, but they're off the point, and now they have to fight through a choke. They're going to use the sound barrier that they didn't have to use earlier for We Have Org to keep him up, and they're still on this point, keeping British Hurricane at bay until Kib gets a kill onto Mikey A. This might be the turnaround.
Yeah, exactly same coming undone there as well. Sound barrier into Transcendence on the other side. There comes it, comes out there. The final second to keep Chubbs alive as well. Ults on the field, bot's gone, no Transcendence on side. This should be We Have Org to take.
Afkill finally gets D-Mech. He was so close to that self-destruct, unfortunately. He's going to end up dying and get a reset on here. So, ultimates being used a lot by We Have Org, but they haven't completed the point yet, so they're burning any ult economy they could have moving into the second point when they carry forth with momentum. Zergi still getting kills on the Zarya. Kib answers with Krems, but I think We Have Org do have the dominant control, but they had to spend so much to get it.
It took them a hell of a lot to get it. I mean, Kanga's back almost towards his second Transcendence of that fight as well. Zergi's got his ultimate online. He burned that at the very start, if you remember, forced the Transcendence out of pocket. It was nice to see both teams, though, correcting mistakes that we saw in the first map of this series. Way back on Lijiang Tower, stacking ultimates, and that was actually on Numbani. This time around, though, they both kind of staggered things out, slowed things down a lot more.
Okay, so
unlucky ultimate.
But the Graviton Surge just a little bit late, but it did give them all the space they wanted on the high ground as they concede it back onto the point. So you can get those right clicks off a little bit easier. Kanga using that Transcendence he so boldly earned for himself. The self-destruct goes over the top. Still finds Zergi, who thought he was safe in the cubby hole. But Chubbs and the rest of the boys going to have to retreat. Numlock propping that Primal Rage. Unfortunate timings, the fight's already over, and he can't really commit as Krems is just going to reset.
When Hurricane burned two ultimates like that, both the Sound Barrier and the Primal Rage, I think it's probably time to retreat and get the hell out of there. And We Have Org agreed. They've got 1 minute 40 to get this right. They've got 3 ultimates online if they want to go for it. Maybe 2 fights left in them. They've got to make sure this next fight goes well for them, otherwise they're going to be panicking and scrapping in that final fight to try and win this one out.
Nesh, very close to get that Graviton Surge himself. Oh, just the right click should do the trick. And they've got that option ready for them. Oh, look at this. He just fires it straight into the wall. I don't think they were expecting that. Going to use the sound barrier to keep him alive. Kib alone needs to back off. Mikey A going to commit the kill onto Kib as the Hapkill going to go back up onto the high ground. Wants to try and force them away. Trying to split this team up as much as possible. Transcendence comes out. Too late to save the mech. Too late to save Nesh. And even Hapkill's going to feel it. Mikey A just going to decimate Yofi. And they're going to have to send Numlock as far away as they can. Try and keep him alive as they go for a retake onto the point with 50 seconds remaining. But they're on to the final piece of the pie, Des. Here it goes for a final stall. And the Graviton Surge doesn't get eaten by Happy. He's locked in the corner. He's going to be shredded out of his mech and shredded from his life. They're still fighting though, Des.
Almost going all the way. Numlock finds off Zergi, but it's not enough. They're still losing members, and Kanga even gets the Transcendence out. It's the support's almost doing work here. Yofi picks up Mikey, but I think it's too little, too late. Most of the members are here. Just got to be wary because those staggers onto the attacking side can really start to cost them here. They're trading kills 1 for 1. This goes in the favor of Hurricane.
Absolutely. Bucket will go down to the self-destruct. They're missing the support, but British Hurricane come out the gate. 20 seconds remaining, and they can stall out Krems here. This could be disastrous for We Have Org without that mech to fight on this final fight.
If they've got enough time for it as well, they're still getting members coming back in. They've got the sound barrier online, but that's about it. If Happy gets up with a huge self-destruct, this is theirs.
They have to go. 4 seconds remaining. You've got to touch, but already they've lost Zergi. They're not going to be able to do anything here. Krems close to the ultimate, as is Chubbs. They can stall it out, but a sound barrier is there, and they're about to get a Transcendence as well. British Hurricane have control of this with spawn advantage, man advantage, and they're about to take this map and go in the lead in this series.
Hurricane doing what so many teams don't do. They hung back, they waited for members to spawn back out the gates, and then they went for their push. There's only a couple of members left alive. Kib even getting Kara out there on the Doomfist. British Hurricane, by the skin of their teeth, managed to take Hanamura away from We Have Org. And quite literally, it was by the skin of their teeth.
very close to crunch time on that final push. Especially, they nearly got it. Like, you saw how close they were to completing. It was like 85%.
It was like 97. It got that close towards the end.
But of course, they were able to
Ridiculous.
keep their tanks alive, come up with a coordinated defense, and just abuse the spawn advantage that comes with the assault map archetype. And there was nothing that could be done, especially when you're putting a flame underneath them and forcing the mistakes from We Have Org when they know they've only got about 8 seconds remaining and they're missing a Diva mech.
It's like I said, that patience at the end from Hurricane was the big winner for me there, because as soon as we saw We Have Org take control of the point, the members that were going to die died, the other members pulled back towards spawn, kind of stuck up on the high ground, you could say, behind the screen in front of the point. Once they had enough members in, they rushed back onto the point together as a collective, and that's what you need to do in that kind of situation. Admittedly, they had a lot of time to do it, but it's that kind of patience which rewarded them, and now they're going to the series, or into the 4th map, potentially final, 2-1.
Yep, 2-1 lead for British Hurricane. The only way that We Have Org can win this series is if they force out that 5th map. We're going to see map number 4 after the break. Welcome back to Overwatch Contenders. We, of course, are jumping into that 4th map, and of course, it's going to be a payload map. We're going to see a little bit of escort to potentially close out the series. British Hurricane have the lead 2-1. And like I said before the break, We Have Org need to win this map and then potentially a 5th to turn this around and get the first series win of Contenders Europe.
And it's not looking like it's impossible for them. First map was good, maybe a bit scrappy between either side. It was anyone's game, although it was a 2-0 to We Have Org in the end. Numbani, a lot more decisive to Hurricane. Hanamura that we just saw was incredibly close. That could have easily gone into a second overtime and seen both teams do battle once more. But what matters is Hurricane a 2-1 up, and now we're going into Route 66.
Of course, I was interested to see what comes out on this map. Did we see Route 66 yesterday, Des?
Yes.
I believe we did. It was the Gigante
It was between
Morning Stars.
and Gigante, yeah. And
interesting Bastion strats coming out there with the Symmetra, teleporting them around on the train carts.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to be able to really push as far as they did towards the end of third point, and I definitely didn't expect Morningstars to hold Giganti entirely up to first point as well, so it was interesting. We'll say that much, and let's see what these two teams can do with it as well. Don't know if we'll see the Symmetra-style creativity. There's no Caspier here with his favourite trusty Bastion. Again, that Morningstar's release video. Favourite hero? Bastion. Nice.
Of course it is, and it would be fitting if it was against British Hurricane as well, so you can see so...
Wasn't it then back in Season 1? Who did
no,
that
it was the match that knocked British Hurricane into Trials, was when they were on the 5th map decider on Ilios.
Right.
And then
and he got the high ground.
He got the high ground using his ultimate to position, and so he didn't use his ultimate as a damage ability, he used it as a movement one, got to the high ground on top of the lighthouse on well, and he just sat up there, and there's nothing British Hurricane could have done about it. He's
eyeing up some of those PTR buffs where the longer he fires, the more accurate it gets. It's going to be terrifying if it comes down to that, but that isn't in just yet. Let's see how Hurricane can do. They're rolling out with Nesh on the Soldier, clearly trying to drop that McCree. Didn't feel it was super successful for them last time round.
Well, I just don't think they know what's going to be coming at them. And I think they're guessing that we have all weren't going to run some kind of dive here, like with the Doomfist. So pick up the Soldier instead. You just sway consistent damage from a distance away from these tanks.
I'm not sitting real close as well. Looking to get stunned around the corner or anything crazy there, but he's trying to get the damage down. He needs to get himself away, and out there he goes. That 500 HP is quite hard to burn through.
Not a lot of damage output from We Have Org. It's a very slow slugfest and relying on the war of attrition. So when Numlock gets stunned up, he can just jump away. He's got enough time to break the stun duration. He has the HP. But look at this wraparound from We Have Org. Want to take the high ground on top of the gas station away from British Hurricane and catch them in the chaos. Don't find any kills, but they're still earning ground on this payload, yet to be truly contested by Hurricane.
Yeah, Nesh hasn't been contested at all, completely up here on the high ground. So you say uncontested, they've only got 1 or 2 members really hovering around the point. It's a Lucio and the 2 tanks. The other supports and Nesh are hanging on completely to the side here, just peppering them down. Look how close he is towards his ultimate already, about to be the first. In fact, no Spoxes, just gets there, but it's dropped as soon as the ultimate goes active.
That's unfortunate. Target-rich environment available. They do have shields on the side of We Have Org, but he's able to thread the needle onto Kanga. Kanga, they can't group together fast enough to hide and cower away from Nesh, who picks up a 2K for his troubles.
Yeah, almost feel like for We Have Org there, the focus should have been to get onto this Soldier in the backline. Yes, he's protected by the Brigitte, by everyone else, the Zarya there as well to throw shields if they really need it. Not the Zarya, sorry, they had the D.Va there as well to fly back up and cover them if they needed to. They just chose instead to try and fight over the point and force them off garage, and they were happy to oblige by that. As long as they're paying attention to the payload, they're ignoring Nesh on the high ground.
Well, they couldn't reach the Soldier. Now they don't have to. They can pull the Soldier to them. Mikey's got that Graviton Surge. Something British Hurricane are missing themselves. His tank-heavy composition. Bocky going extremely low, already knocked down. Krem's going to be the one to sweep through, clean that one up. The Kib bounce boxes, so the man advantage in favor of British Hurricane. Spawn advantage, definitely in favor of We Have Org. Mikey going to go down, holding on to that Graviton Surge. We Have Org know it's just a matter of time until they win with an ult combination they can pull off.
If they can do that again by bringing down bot really early or finding Nesh, for example, as well, and then turning around and winning the fight without sacrificing 2 or 3 members, that's when We Have Org can really get a push on past this garage. But already we're down to 1.5 minutes left on the clock. Unless this is a really quick push, there's only going to be 2 more attacks coming out for We Have Org. Looks nice and quick though, because they're going right in the back line.
Straight onto Bocket, forcing out the Transcendence. He's going to move into the rest of the team. Nesh has found Chubb, so he was punished for the aggression he output. Mikey's still got that Graviton Surge, but they're missing a member. 1 minute 20. Moving on out, they're getting very close to losing this before even reaching checkpoint A, Des.
Feels like it's quickly going that way for them. I mean, they've got 4 ults online. They've hit that critical mass in a sense, which again, most teams try and build towards when they feel themselves being stalled out and can't find a way through. Hurricane themselves have got 4 ultimates though, and Nesh, we saw what he did with that attack visor last time. Let's see if he can do the same again.
Mikey gets himself onto the high ground, uses the Graviton Surge. Oh, Nesh, who's already died. And he has attack visors as well. Numlock's being burned through. Needs to stay alive. Transcendence available. Numlock can't even touch the floor before Krem takes him out of the sky. Yofi moving in, wants to give some extra mobility and healing to his team, but Mikey A's going to cut him down with a right click straight to the floor. Only buying out more time for Happy Cool. They push towards that home straight. And because it was so stagnated and stalled, I don't think British Hurricane can contest this.
Catching Nesh is the big one for them there. I mean, realistically, in most situations, you shouldn't have your Zarya being able to that freely ult onto onto the key damage dealer on your team. Nesh was there right in front of Mike Gay. He was like, press Q. It wasn't eaten. It was super easy.
They're going in for the fight. Sound barrier to emerge out of the door. They're going to push forward. Numlock now on that Reinhardt. And already Nesh has got someone in his face. Kara's going to fire over with those left click to take them all out. British Hurricane going to be knocked to the wayside as We Have Org. Surely we'll get this first checkpoint.
Nesh just had the ult come online as well, so it's going to be definitely a switch away from that one over to the Zarya himself. We Have Org get rewarded for their persistence, although to Hurricane's credit, they did burn all 4 minutes of that initial time bank.
2 minutes 20, really before that payload even starts moving again. But the Hurricane have a Transcendence in their pocket. Nesh has now gone over to Dezachu, so running a more traditional Goats composition into this Monkey Goats. But Mikey A, 84% on the grab surge. Kanga very close to a Transcendence of his own. They might be able to snowball this one through to completion, Des.
I wasn't too sure at first about why We Have Org is choosing to run with Monkey Goats, but they've now switched Chubs over as well so they can match the Goats. The second stage of this map is going to be a lot about those head-to-head duels. Already the Transcendence coming out of Kanga.
Going to be answered immediately by Rocket. His one came out afterwards. They have an opportunity here to get into the face, but they've just been baited into a Graviton Surge. Over the top goes that self-destruct to clean everyone else up, but Chubbs has already found 2 kills. A clean wipe for We Have Org. They're only committing a couple of ultimates to make that happen. Chubbs, Numlock, they're about to have a shatter duel.
Beautiful there as well, because even though the Transcendence came out of the other side first, out of We Have Org, and then British Hurricane pop theirs on top, that's generally where you see the aggressing team, that is Hurricane, come in and go for that play because they've got the protection of the Transcendence while the other side doesn't. But We Have Org pulled off a really nice combo with the Graviton Surge, and yeah, the self-destruct didn't do much for them. It didn't matter because the team had already cleaned up everyone that was alive by the time it even went off.
Hopefully Kib can get this stun at the right time and guarantee a big shatter for his team, but they're pushing aggressive into Numlock already. Mikey A's got good vision to provide protective barriers as well. They're trying to get onto this, and Chubbs has already committed that ultimate. Not going to be having anything foul until, oh, he's knocked down multiple men. Kanga, Mikey A and Chubbs taking out multiple members. Mikey A going to find Kib. It's clean white, moving on to the final stage of the map. Numlock still has that ult in his pocket.
2 minutes to play with for the final push as well, and you mentioned Numlock has managed to hold on to his. Kib's got his. Jofi's about to have, well, pretty much is guaranteed to have his as soon as this fight starts. We have all of the ones now scrapping something here, so British Hurricane, dare I say, have the opportunity to stall out for a bit longer here. Maybe run this down to an overtime push for them to complete on. That gives them a huge advantage coming into their round.
When you look at the DPS the British Hurricane have kept, they obviously opted to keep Nesh over Mikey A in certain instances. If you look at the overlapping hero pools, but Mikey A's had a much better Zarya game this round. He's generating ult so much faster and having more crucial Graviton Surges than what Nesh has been able to do. There's a shatter through the payload from Numlock. Down barrier coming out early, but Chubb's going to be slammed against the wall where the sound will resonate through the building rather than the shield that he's given by Lucio. They're going to force him all the way back to the spawn route. 1 minute 25 on the clock.
Managed to peel back at least now, and they held them to those ults. Again, ult use has got better as this series has gone on between both teams, I think, compared to the first map where we saw a lot of willy-nilly ults, just hoping for the best, hoping it caught someone or would keep someone else alive, and it didn't always pay off for them. We have all getting picked off. Brock has done this so many times this series where he gets those opening kills and everyone has to pull back.
Easy pick for Kanga. Graviton Surge, not going to be used. They know they've already won the fight. Kara will get back to the spawn room safely. Going to burn more of that time back for We Have Org, and even if they win a fight against British Hurricane, they've got enough distance created from that completion that they're going to have another fight afterwards as well. Wait, hang on, man. Look where Nesh is. Look where Nesh is.
If they're quick, then get one more. If you can get this down here, Krem's not quick enough on the response.
He's going to be dropping that straight up. Self-destruct in the middle of the fight, and there's a D-Mech again. More time being burned. 30 seconds remaining for We Have Org, and they still have a shatter and double support ultimate to use.
Again, being really smart with their ult use. This is what I expected We Have Org to do last time around, was to stagger things out one by one with the ults they had, but couldn't quite make it work. They built up once again, like on the first point though, towards that stack of ult to try and do what they can with it. Out come both the Brigitte ultimates, and the thing got eaten in the middle there as well, though Graviton Surge.
Yeah, and here comes the Transcendence is being traded. This time We Have Org have this delay advantage. Turf Shatter being used, found a couple of members. Going to be charged against by Chubbs. He went extremely low to be able to move him away from the team and swing that hammer. Kib going to find Chubbs. Kanga gets D-Mech. Nesh with high energy jumps over the top and wants to find Mikey A. He's got a Discord orb on him. He's going to be shred through. There's the healing coming out. He does a health pack from the Brigitte. Sound barrier has been traded almost identically to keep this fight going. Of course, they're going to have to do the entire push in overtime if they can even win this fight. Krems has been D-Mech. They're moving back and closing ranks. There's the shatter from Chubbs. Finds 2. Graviton Surge holds them away. So there's no follow-up from We Have Org. They look behind. Look at the rotation from Numlock as he goes over the top of the Surge to get the shatter behind the shield. British Hurricane are forcing back We Have Org, and they're going to end their payload journey right here.
Boom. Down they go.
Done on.
You done on. They clearly know what's going on though. Hurricane, that was probably the most decisive defense we've seen out of them all series. Rotating ults brilliantly. And even when the other team threw all ults they had, all 4 of them, at Hurricane. They caught them, they cushioned them, they responded, and as you said, Numlocked with a great jump behind as well with that shutout from behind to knock down all the remaining members. Not really a whole ton of work it feels for Hurricane to do here. If they can get past this first point, I think they're pretty much guaranteed to finish the map from there.
Guarantees with Dr. Dez.
Almost guarantees.
Almost guarantees.
My guarantees have always shown to be slightly off. Yesterday it was 3-1, it was 3-2. I'm saying they're guaranteed to win here. I don't know. If they complete first.
If they complete first, they have to get that first checkpoint.
We saw Morningstar's hold Giganti on first point yesterday. It just shows that that can be a real tough point to get past. Even Hurricane managed to hold We Have All for the majority of that 4 minutes just underneath the garage.
Ash's motorcycle there. It's actually Ash's motorcycle. McCree steals it. If you watch the epilogue to the reunion animated short that was released at BlizzCon.
What a bandit. Stealing motorcycles. Of a lady, nonetheless.
How dare he?
Criminal. Got a pretty good shot, though.
Yeah, well, they both have. They're both marksman DPS. Not many DPS being shown in this matchup, unfortunately. Nesh going to be on that Sombra, so machine pistol. Yeah, that could deal a little bit of damage. British Hurricane, are they?
More like the Mafia than an outlaw.
Maybe, but I think British Hurricane, they're so close to pulling out that Team UK favourite Dotes, but they're not going to commit to it. Numlock's going to stay on that. Hang on a minute. They got Kib on the Genji? What are they doing?
Debating you a bit, that's all.
Yeah, well, actually, Kib's rolling out with the Genji. Nope, he's Kib, Ana, Kib, Brigitte. What's going on here?
Much better. Makes a lot more sense now. Rolling out with the good old standard tried and tested goats, and so are We Have All.
I think Kib just wants to play all those heroes, but he's not allowed to. He's being told by his team, being kept in check by Numlocked. They're going to move round behind We Have Org, so there's a bit of changing places happening. They're going to emerge on to where the defense should be coming from, which is British Hurricane. Flashing on the low down ground. Krems going to be staying alive. Doing out a lot of damage. Half-Cool takes out Chubbs. Boxes answers on to Numlocked. They just switch places. But of course, spawn advantage is in favor of British Hurricane. They're always going to win this fight if it's this slow and this drawn out, because the reinforcements are just going to come from behind them. There's not much that can be done for We Have Org. Going to stun up Nesh into the corner. Here comes Numlocked back out the spawn gate, as well as Yofi to boost them all in. And now the progress can be made by British Hurricane, while We Have Org is still waiting to get their full strength. And they're on to Boxes. They're probably going to find Kara as well. They have to back off. Graviton Surge from Mikey A. He's been doing that all game, getting it faster than Nesh, but everyone stays alive apart from Numlocked as they push back onto British Hurricane. Ult generation definitely in favor of We Have Org, as only the rally has been popped so far by British Hurricane.
Got themselves 5 ults online to play with as well, mind you, so both sides have got that. Transcendence will be the big one here, I think, between both sides as well, because you know in the next fight, Hurricane are going to be leading in with Nesh's Graviton Surge. Last time around, it was a case of Mikey A catching out Nesh when he was on the Soldier. Now it's Nesh's turn to repay the favour and catch out one of the key members on We Have Org side.
Sending self-destruct over, clearing some space, allowing a path for this aggression to go in. Chubbs going to be blocking out Numlock's self-destruct. He still goes down, so that's going to be a problem for them as Happy-Cool finds Spox his self-destruct there. Kanga has to move forward into danger to block out the self-destruct and heal his team. Positional error being forced by British Hurricane's pure aggression. 2 minutes remaining, and they're only about to get around that first corner.
Feels almost that Chubbs was pressing a bit too far forward there, because I think he was close to his own shadow. He thought, well, if I take a few swings here, I'll have the shadow. We can just win a fight off the back of that. And Numlock did burn an ult straight into Chubbs' shield, but still managed to kill him just afterwards as well, because Chubbs, if he dropped that shield, he had the weight of 5 members bearing down him. He'd have been focused very quickly. Just a little bit too far forward there and did cost them that main tank, which is so crucial in GOATs. If you lose the main tank, you're pretty much guaranteed to have to back away.
Graviton Surge able to be committed to the wall. Transcendence being forced out already. You're going to have that Earth Shatter finally being used by Chubbs, making good work out of it. I believe that was double support ultimate being layered by We Have Org. Rocket using his to keep everyone alive as the fight continues, but it's We Have Org taking control as Kid's going to be knocked down by Kanga. Kanga, Happy-Cool's been demate. He's got an environmental right to the side so he can reset, but Mikey A pressing forward with the aggression. 1 minute 10 remaining, and Dez not hitting checkpoint A, becoming ever more real for British Hurricane.
It seems to feel this way, because yesterday it was Morningstar's holding Giganti, today it's potentially We Have Org holding Hurricane. What is it with the big name teams being held down by the new entrants?
Maybe we're just going to have a super competitive season of Overwatch Contenders.
The dream. That's all what we want to see. But let's see what's going on now. 3 ultimates on the side of Hurricane. Again, should be the kind of fight they go to win. They need to get rid of Kanga in the backline because he's not too far away from that trans.
Kib and Numlock being held together on the payload. Sound barrier being forced out to use. Krems gets demexed, but he's going to use the self-destruct for an instant remake and a little bit of space and
Kanga
pressure
trans.
denial. But We Have Org. As Nesh takes on the high ground, he's got a Discord all on him. They're still pushing the payload as best they can, but there's a lot of resistance from We Have Org. A lot of armor being used from that rally that's still maintained. Chubbs goes to half HP. Graviton Surge going to be used to pull them together. Self-destruct is there.
Beautiful.
And finds free because the charge from Numlock was good. Happy with the triple and the D-Mech. And Numlock to finish it off. 10 seconds remaining. Home stretch for point A.
The Giganti bomb in Giganti colors as well. Numlock with that huge charge through, removing the main tank of Chubbs and making sure that was an easy fight for them to clear out. They don't want to get held up here. Now, I did say if they win this first point, they will go on and complete the map. This could potentially be Hanamura and Route 66 going over to Hurricane by the skin of their teeth.
Same time bank rules that We Have Org had. They were burned entirely through it, did it in overtime themselves. So matching them at the moment, pace for pace. Alt in favor of British Hurricane. They've got a Transcendence and an Earth Shatter. Chubbs only with that Earth Shatter coming back into the fight. One of his any debates, Numlock throws out, finds two because they step forward ahead of the shield. Blocked out this time when Chubbs tries to return the damage. Flame Strike will find him after all the chaos. Take out Kara and you can get this payload back in motion, Hurricane.
Beautiful. It's exactly the same mistake that we saw Hurricane make in the first map. It's come full circle in the potentially final map. It's We Have Org making the same mistake. The main tank backing away while all of the members were still in front of it. You still get hit by that shadow regardless of how much of it gets blocked. And they do lose the Zarya and the Brigitte incredibly quickly. Let's see now that they can fully complete this out though. There's a minute and a half to get just inside the door and start pushing it up the ramp. They don't have far to go once they manage to hit that second point.
We Have Org staying together, taking an alternative route. Spox is already very low, as well as Kanga. Very close to the Transcendence for him. A few more orbs, a little bit of healing should do the trick. Chubbs going down low, Transcendence comes out early, and they're going to be pushing forward against British Hurricane. Graviton Surge pulls them together. They know it's going to overlap that Transcendence. Sound barrier being used, Graviton being turned by We Have Org, putting him around for another sound barrier to keep him alive. Self-destruct over the top. Krebs finds two as they push back against British Hurricane, and they should be able to win out this fight as Chubbs follows up on the Happy Call with the micro missiles onto Nesh.
It's like watching the game of chess sometimes. Transcendence on one side, Transcendence on the other. The sound barrier follows as the Transcendence expires. Same on the other side. Graviton surges from both teams, but it's Krems with the big brain play, throwing that self-destruct up in the air to catch out two supports on the side of Hurricane. They've got one more push here because it's not the shortest at the spawn walk in the world, and they're still got to endure this next GOATS fight that's going to ensue. Looking towards Numlock here with a big Earth Shadow like he had earlier on to secure this for British Hurricane.
They're making it work. Look at the speed coming in from Yofi, pushing them forward, taking away the territory that We Have Org once held as they push in with 25 seconds remaining. Earth Shatter to the side. We'll only find one as the Transcendence comes out to match it and keep everyone alive. But now Kim's going down low. Numlock forced off to the side. A few more bit of damage might get him, but he's been able to heal up by the rest of his team. Chubbs has an Earth Shatter. Should be the next one to be used. Put straight into the shield. The spots will go down as well. They push forward. Nesh has to retain this Graviton Surge for the next fight, assuming that they can get them through this door as he's going to clean up free with that high energy charge.
Spox is making a huge mistake there. I don't know why on earth he tunnel visioned so hard onto the back line. He was going for Numlock and found himself getting picked off by members on all sides. Without that Brigitte, you don't have the stun. You can't melt down the main tank. Hurricane literally have one of the shortest pushes in the world to be able to complete this map, and all of it rides on that small mistake being made by We Have Org.
Grab into grab. Mikey A versus Nesh. They're going to be the big ultimates coming in. Kibbs off to the side, but look at his alternative move. Yofi's been caught off guard entirely by We Have Org. They're already going to start burning this time back, and they're not going to let the payload even get through that gate as they're chasing Hurricane back into the spawn room.
My word, they expected them to come the main way. They had the Brigitte peeking in the corner as well, wondering where they were. And before you know it, your Lucio is wrapped down by 6 members all by himself. That might have been enough. The smart big brain play they needed to win this one. They've got the sound barrier, but they need the Transcendence.
Graviton Surge being put in. Numlock not able to get his ultimate, but he blocked out another Chubbs. Oh, here comes the grab from Mikey A to pull them together, but they've already lost 2 members. Earth Shatter on the Kanganger, and Mikey A gets the shield up in time to keep Numlock alive. They push him around the corner, and British Hurricane, welcome back to Overwatch Contenders. You've got yourself your first series win.
Kanga got the Transcendence online just as he died as well. They needed that at the start of the fights. Like I said, they had the sound barrier, they needed the Transcendence, and it cost them in the end. But once again, Hurricane held down to the wire there. That was incredibly close to both teams on those final 2 maps. Honestly, it could have gone either way.
Finally able to get that victory out on Route 66. Clever plays from We Have Org. I think they put up much more of a fight than viewers and we were expecting, to be honest. They took British Hurricane to the wire on Hanamura, very close on Route 66 as well. On any other day, this match could have gone the other way, and I think that's making a couple of teams in this league go, well, we should probably stop sleeping on who.
There's a few teams, I think, who you have to be very wary of throughout, who maybe some teams look at and go, oh, they're not a sponsored team, they're not a big team, there's no big names on that team. Not that there isn't on this team, but you just have to be wary, because you can get caught out by these teams. You don't know what to expect from them. And Hurricane has said we're really close to being surprised, but ultimately they get the 3-1. They'll go home happy from this.
Well, we're going to throw it over to some other happy chappies, and we're going to take it with Sam and the analyst desk.